Okay, today we're talking about the Mini 3 Pro and the Holystone HS720. We're flying them over Elmer Beach, and this region of the beach is the Crown Estate, so you can fly. Obviously Holystone is 460 grams, so you can't fly over the housing estate or buildings around, when Mini 3 Pro is obviously 249 grams. But the Crown Estates means you can take drones up to 20 kilograms in and fly them over between the area of high tide and low tide. So it's quite nice for flying them over beaches and things like that. Obviously it's really heavy crowds and things like that. You'd obviously have to take that into account when flying large drones, but obviously this region there, especially at the time I was flying, there's hardly anyone there, just a few dog walkers. So there's a bit of a tint, pinkish tint between the Holystone there, whereas the I think I got it quite right in Premiere Pro, getting the colours right. And at the distance there you can see the Butts and Bognor Regis resort. It's quite nice. I've never been into that resort, but it's quite a large resort. It really stands out, and it's quite zooming in that little bit, quite a nice thing really. Obviously the main difference I think between the Holystone and the Mini 3 Pro is obviously the tendency for the Holystone to tip from side to side, especially in windy conditions, whereas the Mini 3 Pro is incredibly stable. The horizon's always flat. You can I think you can make it change direction or tipped from side to side in the Mini 3 Pro to preset it like a VP, like an airplane going in circles. But obviously it does for photographs. The Mini 3 Pro really does excel compared to the Holystone. And even though I have done some work in Premiere Shop Pro, it's also comes out a lot stronger. I think the colours that I put in on the Holystone than the Mini 3 Pro. It's a bit lighter, slightly over green, I think, a bit more difficult because you don't have the D colour scheme where you have in the Mini 3 Pro. Also with the Holystone, the winds are much more a factor here, where on this day it's only a meter, maybe 2 meters a second wind speed, so 5 kilometers an hour, 7 kilometers an hour maximum. It's hardly jumping. Well, the windy, even a mild breeze of 20-25 kilometers an hour, the Holystone would jumps or moves around it, so really can be difficult to take a nice clean image, except photographs, which I think it excels much better at, to be honest, than the video. You really rely much better on these days where there's hardly a breeze with the Holystone, where with the Mini 3 Pro you can fly in a strong 30-40 kilometer an hour breeze, and you'd still get very stable video footage. You would hardly realise it's that windy, whereas the wind really makes a much more notable effect on the Holystone. So I've been flying back towards Bognor Regis, flew another 470 metres past me. I've got it preset. It's much more difficult. It's another thing that I don't like about this controller, is they don't allow you to set it seems to, they give you like up to like 8 or 9,000 meters. You can set it with a little knob to lower it below 500 meters so the drone won't go any farther than that distance. Real pain to get it to move around, to make very minor changes. Holystone's a little better on that regard, but still not that. Could do with a little bit better on those when you want to alter settings on the controller. The controller on the Holystone is good. It's got good signal. You could probably fly it at a distance quite well. The only problem is when you're filming something with you, because it loses the connection with the phone and the drone. It's a real pain. I've used to use. It doesn't seem to make any difference between my old phone and my new phone. They seem to lose connection. The best I can guarantee is roughly less than 150 meters, and even sometimes less than that, especially if you're low down to the ground. It's very sensitive to distortion or breakups and things like that, and you easily lose connection. It's really frustrating because I can't go up to these rock or the breakwater rocks you see there, where you can do that easily with the Mini 3 Pro, so long as that you don't go below or get anything in the visual line of sight. There's no building or structure, because you will lose connection instantly. It's just as you would with the Holystone. So long as you don't, you've got the drone, nothing, no trees, nothing. It's completely straight line of sight, 500 meters. You wouldn't have any problem. I did have some problem with when running multiple apps and like screen capture and recording on the RC control of the Mini 3 Pro, where it would sometimes stutter and sometimes the screen would freeze because it's just too many processors running. Hopefully the new firmware updates I haven't tested using the whole thing at full capacity. Hopefully the firmware will get that working okay. But we'll find out soon enough, I suppose. But you can't fly and do orbits at a distance with the Holystone, whereas obviously you can fly comfortably, get a good visual on something if you walk right up to it, and then you can orbit within distances of about 100 meters. So as long as you don't go above a distance, then you can. Otherwise you rely on guesswork and visual line of seeing which direction of the drone, and that doesn't work well. It's very difficult. Over 200 meters you can't even guess really very easily which direction the drone's flying. You can only have the drone move and watch which direction it's moving in to guess the direction, and you can't really, just doesn't work. You need that visual from the control of from the phone to from your phone to the drone. If they had the thing with the RC having the cameras, it makes it also much less tedious. They pair quicker. It's much quicker and less tedious. You can be flying within a minute from as you take it with the Mini 3 Pro, about a minute or two, with 2 minutes maybe with the Holystone drone. So, but yeah, I'm doing a bit of an orbit over this Algae Point. Algae has got quite an interesting area of beach. Tide's right out now, just about to start. I think it's just starting to come in now, just after an hour or two after lowest tide. So it's just about to start coming in. I think I'll lose connection with the Holystone at this point, and I finish off my video. doing some sports, using sport mode with the Mini 3 Pro, doing some side to side, low capturing, low angles. Here I press the return to home, and then I decided to fly it there, because at first I was flying the wrong direction, and then I just said, oh, I have to press the return, then I turn, put it on to manually land it, come in, because obviously I don't want it landing on the wet sand, so I manually land it on my hand, which you can do with both drones, so it's quite useful. Once you learn how to do it, you can land both drones on your hand, and they both, even the heavier 460 gram drone lands even better than the Mini 3 Pro, because you have to hold the controller for a few seconds downwards, because it has the sensors of the main that goes upwards, so you have to keep holding the controller hand down for a few seconds, and then it will land, then finally land on your hand. It took me a bit of time to realise that. So it's quite nice flying at it's about nearly 60 kilometers an hour on the beach. So quite a nice, fast run. So yes, I think that will end the video with the Mini 3 Pro. It's quite a hot day. Well, it's not too bad, it's quite breezy, but it did get quite hot on this day. Nearly 40 degrees in some areas. But that ends our video.